The massive space station hung in the darkness like a metal city. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho pressed his face to the window of the human transport ship and watched it grow larger. This was it. The moment Earth had been waiting for, since they discovered. "Faster than light traveled 20 years ago. Sir, we will dock in 10 minutes, said Colonel Park Min-soo, standing behind him in his crisp military uniform. The colonel was a big man with scars on his hands from the resource wars back on Earth. He did not trust aliens, but he followed orders. Kim Tae-ho nodded and straightened his diplomatic robes. At 55, he had spent his whole life preparing for this day. He had learned 12 alien languages. He had studied every piece of information Earth had about the galaxy. He knew this meeting would decide humanity's future. "Are you ready, Dr. Lee?" he asked the woman, checking her equipment nearby. Dr. Lee So-jin looked up from her scientific instruments. She was Earth's best expert on alien life. Her black hair was pulled back, and her eyes showed both excitement and worry. "The translation devices are working perfectly. I have samples of human art, music, and literature ready to share." The fourth member of their team, Lieutenant Choi Yuri, worked at the communication station. She was young, barely 30, but she could speak with any alien species through their technology. "All systems are ready, Ambassador. Earth is waiting for our reports." The docking process was smooth. The station's artificial gravity pulled them in like a gentle hand. When the airlock opened, Kim Tae-ho stepped into a world unlike anything on Earth. The main corridor was huge, with ceilings that disappeared into shadows above. Hundreds of different creatures moved through the space. Some walked on legs like humans. Others floated in bubbles of gas. Some looked like living crystals that made musical sounds when they moved. A reptilian creature approached them. It stood 8 feet tall on powerful legs. Its scales were dark green, and its eyes were like yellow fire. When it spoke, the translator device turned its hissing words into human language. "Welcome, creatures from Earth. I am Sub-Commander Vexital of the Valix Empire. You will follow me to the council chamber." Kim Tae-ho bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Sub-Commander. We are honored to be here." The walk through the station took an hour. They passed markets where aliens traded things that had no names in human language. They saw gardens with plants that moved like animals. They watched ships from across the galaxy dock and leave. "Look at them stare," whispered Colonel Park Min-soo. "They think we are animals." "Stay calm," Kim Tae-ho replied quietly. "We are here to prove them wrong." The council chamber was a massive dome with seats arranged in circles. Representatives from dozens of species sat in groups. The air smelled of strange chemicals and alien food. At the center sat the 3 most powerful beings in the galaxy. High Regent Torth of the Valix Empire was the largest reptile Kim Tae-ho had ever seen. His scales looked like armor, and his claws could tear through steel. Next to him floated Crystal Mind Venth of the Nethys Collective. The crystalline being was beautiful and terrible, made of living diamond that caught the light in rainbow patterns. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. The third leader was strangest of all. Prime Essence Korth of the Orum Federation had no solid body. It was a cloud of glowing gas held together by technology, changing colors as it thought. "So," rumbled High Regent Torth, "the new species wishes to join our great civilization. Tell us, humans, what can you offer that we do not already possess?" Kim Tae-ho stepped forward. His heart pounded, but his voice was steady. "Honored leaders, we come not as beggars but as partners. Humanity offers three things the galaxy has never seen together: creativity, adaptability, and determination. He gestured to Dr. Lee, who activated a holographic display. Images of human achievements filled the air, cities that reached the clouds. Art that made aliens gasp in wonder, music that brought tears to eyes across the chamber. In just 10,000 years, we went from caves to the stars, Kim Tae-ho continued. We survived ice ages, plagues, and wars that would have destroyed weaker species. We learned to work together despite our differences. Crystal Mind Venth's voice chimed like breaking glass. Impressive for such a young species. But what of wisdom? Your history shows much violence. We do not hide from our past, Kim Tae-ho replied. Yes, we have known war, but we also know peace. We have learned that differences make us stronger, not weaker. On Earth, hundreds of nations work together now. We ended poverty. We healed our planet's wounds. We can bring this unity to the galaxy. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some aliens seemed interested. Others looked doubtful. Prime Essence Korth's colors shifted to deep blue. And what do you want in return for these gifts? Only the chance to learn and grow alongside you, Kim Tae-ho said. We ask for fair trade agreements, access to galactic technology and knowledge, the right to establish colonies on empty worlds. Most importantly, we want friendship between our peoples. High Regent Torth leaned forward. His yellow eyes studied the humans like a predator watching prey. You speak of friendship, but your species carries weapons. Even now, your soldier has devices that could kill. Colonel Park Min-soo tensed, but Kim Tae-ho remained calm. We carry protection because space is dangerous, but we have not threatened anyone. Our weapons stayed in our ship. We come in peace, but we are not helpless. For 3 hours, the questions continued. Aliens asked about human culture, technology, and intentions. Kim Tae-ho answered each question, honestly. Dr. Lee shared scientific data. Lieutenant Choi demonstrated human communication skills. Finally, High Regent Torth raised a clawed hand for silence. We have heard enough for today. The Council will discuss your request. Return tomorrow for our decision. As they left the chamber, Colonel Park Min-soo walked close to Kim Tae-ho. Sir, did you see how they looked at us? Some of them hate us already. I saw, Kim Tae-ho replied, but others were interested. We have planted seeds today. Tomorrow, we will see if they grow. That night, in their assigned quarters, the human delegation prepared for the most important day in their species' history. None of them knew it would also be their last day together. Outside their windows, the alien station hummed with secret meetings and whispered plans. Not everyone wanted humanity to join the galactic community. Some preferred to keep the universe exactly as it was. In the morning, everything would change forever. The morning came with artificial sunlight flooding the station corridors. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho, dressed in his finest diplomatic robes, dark blue with gold symbols of Earth. Today would decide humanity's future among the stars. The Council has agreed to hear us again, Lieutenant Choi Yuri reported from her communication station. But there are strange signals coming from the Valak section of the station. Encrypted messages. Colonel Park Min-soo checked his sidearm for the 3rd time. I don't like it, Ambassador. Something feels wrong. We knew this would be dangerous, Kim Tae-ho replied. But we cannot show fear. If we want respect, we must earn it. Dr. Lee So-jin finished packing her samples of human culture. The art. Pieces seem to have impressed many species yesterday. Perhaps beauty can build bridges where words fail. They walked through the station corridors toward the council chamber. Other aliens moved around them, but something was different today. The usual chatter was quieter. Eyes followed the human delegation more closely than before. Sub-Commander Vextal met them at the chamber entrance. The Valix reptile's yellow eyes seemed brighter than yesterday, almost excited. The council awaits you, humans. Today will be memorable. Inside the chamber, all the seats were filled. More aliens had come to watch than the day before. The three main leaders sat in their positions at the center, but Kim Tae-ho noticed additional Valix warriors standing in the shadows. High Regent Torth rose from his seat, his massive form casting a shadow over the humans. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho, of Earth, the Galactic Council has considered your request to join our civilization. Kim Tae-ho stepped forward. We are honored by your attention, High Regent. What is your decision? Before we announce our judgment, Torth continued, the Council has prepared a traditional ceremony. You will dine with us as equals to show the galaxy that you are worthy of consideration. Tables rose from the floor, arranged in a circle around the chamber's center. Alien foods appeared, carried by floating platforms. The smells were strange, but not unpleasant. Kim Tae-ho had studied alien customs. Sharing food was a sign of trust among most species. We are grateful for this honor, Kim Tae-ho said, bowing low. The dinner began peacefully. Aliens and humans sat together, sharing strange foods and careful conversation. Dr. Lee explained human science to crystal beings who hummed with interest. Lieutenant Choi demonstrated human music to gas cloud creatures who changed colors with delight. But Colonel Park Min-soo noticed that the Valix warriors had moved closer. They formed a loose circle around the dining area. Their hands rested on their weapons. Ambassador, he whispered, we should leave. We cannot insult them by leaving. Early, Kim Tae-ho replied quietly. This is diplomacy. We must see it through. High Regent Torth stood up, raising a crystal cup filled with bright blue liquid. A toast, he announced, to the future of the galaxy. Every alien in the chamber stood. Kim Tae-ho and his team rose as well, lifting their own cups. The liquid tasted like metal and lightning. Now, Torth continued, his voice growing louder, let us show these humans what we truly think of their kind. The chamber fell silent. Kim Tae-ho felt his blood turn cold. From the shadows stepped War Prime Sektar, the most feared Valix military commander. His scales were black as space, and his claws had been sharpened to surgical points. Behind him came a dozen elite Valix. Soldiers! Citizens of the galaxy, Sektar announced, his voice carrying through every communication channel. Today you witness the proper response to inferior species who dare to think themselves our equals. Kim Tae-ho stepped protectively in front of his team. This is a violation of diplomatic immunity. We came here under guarantee of safe passage. Sektar laughed, a sound like grinding stone. Immunity? You speak of laws as if they apply to animals. You crawled from your dirt world just decades ago. You know nothing of civilization, nothing of power, nothing of your place in the order of things. Colonel Park Min-soo reached for his weapon, but Valix soldiers were already pointing energy weapons at the human delegation. Any movement would mean instant death for all of them. The galaxy has grown soft, Sektar continued, speaking to the cameras that broadcast his words across thousands of star systems. We allow weak species to think they matter. We pretend that all life has value. Today, we correct this mistake. Crystal Mind Venth's voice chimed with what might have been protest. War Prime, this is not what was agreed. Silence, Sektar snarled. The Valix Empire will no longer pretend to respect lesser beings. Watch, Galaxy. See what happens to species who forget their place. Kim Tae-ho stepped forward, his hands empty and open. If you must kill someone, kill only me. My team is not responsible for anything I have said. How noble, Sektar mocked. The animal thinks it has honor. Very well. Your death will be a lesson to any other primitive species that dreams of joining civilized society. The War Prime drew a curved blade that glowed with energy. Kim Tae-ho closed his eyes and thought of Earth, of his wife and children who would never see him again. The blade cut through his chest like fire through paper. Kim Tae-ho fell to his knees, blood spreading across his diplomatic robes. He looked up at Sektar with eyes that showed no fear, only sadness. You don't know what you have done, he whispered. Enlighten me, Sektar replied. Kim Tae-ho smiled, blood on his lips. You think humans are weak because we came in peace. You will learn the difference between weakness and mercy. The blade struck again. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho, first human representative to the Galactic Council, died on alien floors far from home. Colonel Park Min-soo roared in rage and lunged forward, but energy bolts from Valak's weapons threw him backward. Dr. Lee So-jin screamed and ran to Kim Tae-ho's body. Lieutenant Choi Yuri stood frozen in shock. Let the survivors go, Sektar ordered. Let them carry news of this day back to their dirt world. Let all humans know that the galaxy has no place for them. As Valak's soldiers dragged them away, Colonel Park Min-soo looked back at his commander's body. The ambassador's blood was already turning dark on the alien floor. Through her tears, Dr. Lee So-jin whispered words that would haunt her forever. They don't know what they've started. The images of Kim Tae-ho's murder spread across the galaxy within hours. Most alien species watched with satisfaction or indifference. A few expressed private concern. None of them understood that they had just awakened something that had been sleeping since humanity learned to reach the stars. They had shown humans that the galaxy was not a place of civilized law, but a jungle where only the strong survived. Humanity had tried peace. They had offered friendship. Now they would offer something else entirely. The emergency session began at midnight in Geneva. Every leader on Earth watched the same horrific footage that had spread across the galaxy. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho's blood still stained the council chamber floor billions of miles away. President Yoon Seok-min sat at the head of the table, his face carved from stone. He had known Kim Tae-ho for 30 years. They had served together in the Korean military before becoming diplomats. Now his oldest friend was dead, murdered on live broadcast for the crime of seeking peace. How long ago did this happen? He asked. General Han Dong-woo, commander of Earth's combined military forces, checked his tablet. 18 hours, sir. Colonel Park Min-soo and the survivors are on their way home. They should arrive in 6 days. Around the table sat the most powerful people on Earth. Admiral Kang Hye-jin commanded the space fleet. Dr. Shin Jae-won led the Weapons Research Division. Intelligence Director Won Ki-nam controlled Earth's spy networks. All of them waited for their president to speak. "Show me the alien response," Yoon said quietly. The main screen displayed news feeds from across the galaxy. Most alien species praised the murder. They called it necessary discipline and proper order. A few species remained silent, but none condemned the killing. "They think we are animals," General Han said, his voice thick with anger. "They think killing our ambassador was like stepping on an insect." "Perhaps they are right about one thing," Yoon replied. "Perhaps we are animals. The question is, what kind of animals are we?" Dr. Shin Jae-won leaned forward. She was a small woman with gray hair and brilliant eyes. "Mr. President, there are projects I need to tell you about. Classified weapons programs that we started after first contact with aliens." "What kind of projects?" "The kind that make what happened to Hiroshima look like a firecracker," she said simply. Yoon studied her face. "Show me." The screen changed to display technical diagrams. Dr. Shin explained each weapon system with calm precision. Quantum disruption bombs that could tear apart matter at the atomic level. Nanite swarms that consumed metal and flesh with equal efficiency. Artificial intelligence systems designed for one purpose: killing aliens as efficiently as possible. "How many do we have?" Admiral Kang asked. "Enough to sterilize 100 worlds," Dr. Shin replied. "We learned from human history. Admiral, every time our species met another, war followed. We prepared for the same thing to happen among the stars." General Han smiled for the first time since the murder. "How long would it take to deploy these weapons?" 6 months to retrofit our fleet and train crews," Dr. Shin said. "But, sir, once we start this path, there is no going back. These weapons are designed to exterminate entire species." The room fell silent. Outside the windows, Earth looked peaceful in the darkness. Cities glowed with warm light. Families slept safely in their beds. None of them knew that their leaders were about to make the most important decision in human history. "Sir," Intelligence Director Won Ki-nam spoke up. "My people have been monitoring alien communications since the murder. The galaxy expects us to surrender or hide. They think we will beg for mercy." "And what do our people think?" Yoon asked. "Riots in every major city," General Han reported. "They want blood." The footage of Ambassador Kim's death has been seen by every human on Earth. Military recruitment stations are overflowing with volunteers. President Yoon stood and walked to the window. Earth turned slowly below him, blue and beautiful and fragile. Somewhere out there in the darkness, aliens were celebrating his friend's murder. "Dr. Shin," he said without turning around, "explain to me again what these weapons can do." "The quantum bombs can destroy a planet's crust in minutes. The nanites can strip a world of all metal, including alien technology and ships. The AI systems can coordinate attacks across multiple star systems simultaneously. Combined with our existing nuclear arsenal..." She paused. "Sir, we could exterminate every alien species in the galaxy." "How many species are we talking about?" 43. Major civilizations, hundreds of minor ones. Conservative estimate, 2 trillion individual aliens. The number hung in the air like poison. 2 trillion lives, more death than in all of human history combined. "Mr. President," Admiral Kang said carefully, "perhaps we should consider a limited response. Strike at Valak's military targets. Show them we are not helpless." "Limited response?" General Han laughed bitterly. "Admiral, did you see the footage? They butchered our ambassador like an animal while the galaxy watched and cheered. A limited response tells them we are still weak." "The general is right," Director Wan said. My intelligence shows that every alien species sees this as a test. If we respond weakly, they will hunt us to extinction. If we respond with overwhelming force, they will fear us. Yoon finished. He turned back to the room. Dr. Shin, I need you to be completely honest with me. If we deploy these weapons, if we choose total war, can we win? She nodded slowly. Yes, sir. Human psychology gives us advantages that aliens do not understand. We evolved as pack hunters and tribal warriors. We can coordinate complex military operations better than any other species. Our history of warfare has taught us lessons that peaceful civilizations never learned. What lessons? That mercy is weakness, unless backed by the threat of total destruction. That enemies must be eliminated completely, or they will return stronger. That in war, there are no innocent bystanders. President Yoon sat back down. Around the table, Earth's leaders waited for his decision. The weight of two species rested on his shoulders, humanity and every alien race in the galaxy. They killed Ambassador Kim because they thought we were weak, he said finally. They broadcast his murder because they wanted to humiliate us. They expect us to crawl back to Earth and hide like frightened children. He looked at each person in the room. General Han, begin mobilizing every military unit on Earth. Admiral Kang, prepare the fleet for combat operations. Dr. Shin, you have unlimited resources to complete your weapons programs. Director Wan, I want complete intelligence on every alien world, every fleet, every military installation. Sir, Admiral Kang said carefully, are we declaring war on the entire galaxy? President Yoon smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. No, Admiral, we are not declaring war. Declarations are for civilized beings who respect diplomatic immunity. What we are going to do is much simpler. He stood up, and his voice carried the weight of 10 billion angry humans. We are going to show them what animals really look like when their family is murdered. The meeting ended at dawn. Across Earth, military bases came alive with activity. Weapons factories began working around the clock. Scientists who had spent their careers studying alien biology received new assignments. Find the most efficient ways to kill them. In space, the human fleet began returning from exploration missions. Ships designed for discovery were stripped down and rebuilt for destruction. The galaxy had wanted to see humanity's true nature. They were about to get their wish. 6 months after Ambassador Kim Tae-ho's murder, Earth had transformed into the largest weapons factory in human history. Every orbital shipyard worked day and night. Every military base trained soldiers for a war unlike any humanity had ever fought. Captain Lim Sung-ho stood in the command center of the Luna shipyards, watching the final modifications to humanity's war fleet. The ships barely looked like the peaceful exploration vessels they had once been. Gone were the comfortable living quarters and scientific laboratories. In their place sat weapon systems that could crack planets. "How many are ready?" asked Engineer Oh Mi-young, climbing up from the lower decks where she had been installing the latest quantum torpedoes. "All 400 combat ships are operational," Lim replied, "plus 200 support vessels for supplies and repairs. It's the largest space fleet ever built." Oh Mi-young wiped grease from her hands. She had not slept properly in months, working to combine human engineering with captured alien technology. The result was ships that moved faster and hit harder than anything the galaxy had seen. "The new armor plating can withstand most alien weapons," she reported, "and the stealth systems will make us invisible until we are ready to strike." "But, Captain, these ships are designed for one thing only: killing aliens. Once this fleet launches, There will be no peaceful use for it. Good, Lim said simply. Peace got our ambassador murdered. Across the solar system, Commander Bei Jun-woo was finishing the most intensive military training program ever created. His soldiers trained in zero-gravity combat, practiced boarding alien ships, and learned to fight in environments that would kill normal humans. Again! He shouted as his strike teams practiced assault techniques. The aliens think they are superior because they have energy weapons and personal shields. Show me how wrong they are. His soldiers moved like a machine. They had trained for every possible alien combat scenario. More importantly, they had trained to think like humans had always thought in war, with absolute ruthlessness. Sir, called Master Sergeant Kim Young-ho, the biological warfare teams are ready for inspection. Commander Bei nodded. Dr. An Kyung-soo had spent months studying alien physiology from samples collected during diplomatic missions. What she had discovered was that most alien species had never developed strong immune systems. They had lived in sterile environments for so long that they were vulnerable to biological weapons. The virus designs are complete, Dr. An reported when Bei arrived at her laboratory. Each one is specifically tailored to attack alien biology while leaving humans unharmed. The Valix reptile respiratory system, the Nethys crystal matrix structure, the Aurum gas-being energy patterns. How effective are they? Bei asked. 100% lethal to the target species, transmitted through air, water, or physical contact. Once released, these viruses will spread faster than any alien medical system can respond. Dr. An paused, looking at the samples in her laboratory. Commander, I need you to understand what these weapons will do. They will not just kill soldiers, they will kill every member of the target species they encounter. Adults, children, elderly, civilians. I understand, Bei replied. They started this war when they murdered our ambassador. We will finish it. Meanwhile, in the deepest levels of Earth's intelligence headquarters, Nam Yun-ji worked her way through every alien communication network in the galaxy. The aliens had no idea how advanced human computer technology really was. Their security is pathetic, she reported to her supervisor. They never expected anyone to hack their systems because they thought they were the most advanced species in the galaxy. Her screens showed detailed maps of alien territories, fleet positions, military strength reports, personal communications between alien leaders. The galaxy's secrets were now humanity's weapons. What about their response to our preparations? Director Wan Ki-nam asked. They think we are building defensive installations, Nam laughed. The Valix military reports say that humans are fortifying their primitive world like frightened animals. They have no idea we are preparing to attack them. Keep it that way. How long until we have complete intelligence on all target systems? 2 more weeks, sir. But, Director, the scale of what we are planning... Nam hesitated. We are talking about attacking 43 different star systems simultaneously. The logistics alone... The logistics are not your concern, Director Wan replied. Your job is information. Let the military worry about logistics. In orbit around Earth, the crown jewel of humanity's preparation neared completion. The command ship Vengeance was 5 times larger than any vessel humanity had ever built. Its quantum computers could coordinate attacks across the entire galaxy in real time. Admiral Kang Hye-jin walked through its corridors, inspecting systems that would control the largest military operation in galactic history. Every detail had been planned with the precision that only human military minds could achieve. Status report, she called to her officers. All weapon systems online, reported Commander Park Ji-hyun. Quantum disruption cannons, nanite deployment. Pods, biological warfare dispensers, and nuclear torpedo tubes, all ready for combat. Communication systems are linked to every ship in the fleet, added Lieutenant Colonel Seo Hyun-woo. We can coordinate with forces across multiple star systems instantly. And the AI command system? Admiral Kang asked. Nemesis is online and learning, replied Dr. Yu Sang-min, the artificial intelligence specialist. It has analyzed every piece of alien military data we possess. Its strategic recommendations show a 97% probability of complete victory. Admiral Kang nodded. Nemesis was humanity's secret weapon, an AI designed specifically for warfare. Unlike the aliens, who had developed peaceful technologies over millennia, humans had created an artificial mind that thought like a general. Admiral, her aide approached with a secure tablet. President Yoon is requesting a final briefing. The meeting took place in the same room where Earth's leaders had first learned of Ambassador Kim's murder. But the atmosphere was different now. Gone was the shock and grief. In its place sat cold determination. Give me the final numbers, President Yoon said. General Han Dong-woo stood at the briefing podium. 400 attack ships, each capable of destroying alien fleets 10 times their size, 50,000 elite soldiers trained for alien combat, biological weapons designed to exterminate entire species, quantum bombs that can crack planets, and complete intelligence on every alien military installation in the galaxy. Casualties? Yoon asked. Our casualties should be minimal, Admiral. Kang replied. Alien casualties will be total. Every major alien civilization will be extinct within 1 year of the operation's start. Dr. Shin Jae-won added, Mr. President, I need to state this clearly one final time. What we are about to do will be the largest act of genocide in the galaxy's history. We are not just attacking military targets. These weapons will kill every alien they encounter. And if we do nothing? Yoon asked. The aliens will eventually come to Earth and finish what they started, General Han said. They have made it clear that they see us as animals to be exterminated. This is not a war for territory or resources. This is a war for survival. President Yoon stood and walked to the window. Below him, Earth continued its peaceful rotation. Cities sparkled with lights. Children played in parks. Families shared. Meals together. All of it protected by the decision he was about to make. Launch date? He asked. 2 weeks from today, Admiral Kang replied. The anniversary of Ambassador Kim's murder. Perfect timing, Yoon said. He turned back to the room. Begin the operation. Show the galaxy what happens when they murder humanity's ambassadors. As Earth's leaders left the meeting, none of them looked back. They had chosen their path. In 2 weeks, the galaxy would learn that humans were not the peaceful species they had pretended to be. They were predators who had been hiding among sheep, and now the hunt was about to begin. Exactly 1 year after Ambassador Kim Tae-ho's murder, the human war fleet emerged from dark space like death itself. They appeared simultaneously in 12 Valak star systems, their ships materializing from the void with weapons already charging. Commander Ro Chang-min stood on the bridge of the destroyer Soul's Revenge, watching the Valak's homeworld of Kepler 442b grow larger on his screens. Around his ship, 40 other human vessels moved in perfect formation. The aliens had no idea they were coming. Target analysis complete, reported his weapons officer, Lieutenant Han Soo-jin. Valak's military headquarters, 3 major cities, and their primary fleet base. All targets identified and locked. Any response from alien forces? Ro asked. Nothing, sir. Their sensors are not designed to detect our stealth technology. We could be right next to them and they would not know. Rose smiled grimly. Human military engineers had spent centuries perfecting the art of surprise attacks. The Valaks were about to learn why that mattered. "Open a channel to all ships," he ordered. "This is Commander Ro to all vessels. Today we avenge Ambassador Kim Tae-ho. Today we show the galaxy that humans are not prey animals. All ships, begin the attack." The first human weapons fired simultaneously across 12 star systems. Quantum torpedoes that moved faster than light struck Valak cities before their inhabitants knew what was happening. The explosions were visible from space, bright flowers of destruction that bloomed across alien worlds. On Kepler 442b, the Valak's military command center simply vanished. One moment it was there, a massive fortress of metal and stone. The next moment it was a crater 5 kilometers wide. "Direct hit on primary target," Lieutenant Han reported. "Moving to secondary targets." But the humans were just getting started. Captain Song Ji-won's squadron deployed the new nanite weapons for the first time in combat. Millions of microscopic machines poured from human ships like silver rain, falling onto Valak cities below. The nanites had been programmed with one simple mission: consume everything that was not human. They ate through Valak's buildings, vehicles, and technology with terrifying efficiency. Alien metal dissolved like sugar in water. "Nanite deployment successful," Song reported over the communication system. "Alien infrastructure is collapsing across all target zones." The Valaks tried to respond, but their technology was failing everywhere the nanites touched. Energy weapons stopped working. Communication systems went silent. Even their personal equipment fell apart in their claws. War Prime Sektar, the alien who had murdered Ambassador Kim, stood in his command bunker watching his empire burn. Through the windows, he could see Valak cities crumbling as human nanites consumed everything they had. "Built. Get me a communication link to the human fleet," he snarled at his subordinates. "Sir, all communication equipment has been destroyed by the nanites," Sub-Commander Vextal replied. "We cannot contact anyone." "Then send ships. Send everything we have." "Sir, the fleet is gone. The humans destroyed our orbital shipyards in the first attack. The ships that were not destroyed are powerless. The nanites have consumed their weapons and engines." Sektar stared at the devastation outside. In less than 6 hours, humanity had crippled the most powerful military empire in the galaxy. How? Is this possible? They were primitives. Animals. He would never get an answer to that question. Commander Ro had saved the Valak's military leadership for last. His ship descended through the atmosphere like a falling star, its weapons trained on the command bunker where Sektar waited. "War Prime Sektar," Ro's voice echoed through the bunker's remaining speakers. "This is Commander Ro Chang-min of the Human Fleet. Do you remember Ambassador Kim Tae-ho?" Sektar grabbed a functioning microphone. "Human! You dare attack the Valak's empire! We will crush you! We will hunt your species to extinction!" Ro's laughter came through the speakers. "You had your chance to be civilized. You chose murder instead. Now you learn what real predators look like." The quantum cannon fired once. The bunker, Sektar, and everything within a kilometer radius simply stopped existing. Across the galaxy, identical scenes played out in system after system. Human fleets appeared without warning, destroyed everything that moved, and left Valak's worlds burning in their wake. Admiral Kang Hyejin coordinated the entire operation from the command ship Vengeance. Her screens showed the systematic destruction of Valak civilization in real time. Report from all task forces, she ordered. Strike Group Alpha has neutralized Valix Fleet Base 7, reported Captain Moon Dong-hyun. No survivors detected. Strike Group Beta has eliminated Valix industrial centers in the Proxima system, added Commander Yu Hae-young. Nanite saturation is complete. Strike Group Gamma has destroyed Valix military academies and training facilities, reported Major Park So-young. The next generation of Valix warriors no longer exists. One by one, the reports came in. Every Valix military installation, every major city, every shipyard and factory, all gone. But Admiral Kang was not satisfied with military targets. The humans had learned from their own history that leaving enemies alive only led to future wars. Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Deploy biological weapons on all remaining Valix worlds. Dr. An Kyung-soo's viral weapons spread through Valix colonies like invisible death. The viruses attacked the aliens' respiratory systems, turning their own blood into poison. Within hours, entire planets fell silent. The few Valix who escaped to space found no safety there. Human ships hunted them through the void, destroying refugee vessels and escape pods with equal efficiency. Sir, Lieutenant Colonel Seo Hyun-woo approached Admiral Kang with a report. We are receiving communications from other alien species. They are demanding an explanation for our actions. What are they saying? Kang asked. The Nethys Collective is calling this barbaric aggression. The Aurum Federation demands that we stop immediately and submit to galactic justice. The minor species are mostly silent, but several are calling for united action against humanity. Admiral Kang studied the messages on her screen. The same aliens who had cheered Ambassador Kim's murder were now shocked by humanity's response. Open a channel to all alien species, she ordered, broadcasting on all frequencies. When the connection was established, Admiral Kang spoke in a voice that carried across the galaxy. Citizens of the so-called galactic civilization. 1 year ago, you murdered our ambassador in cold blood while the galaxy watched and celebrated. You called us animals. You said we had no place in civilized society. She paused, letting her words sink in. You were right about one thing. We are animals. We are predators. And you have just learned what happens when predators decide that prey has become a threat. Images of burning Valix worlds appeared on screens across the galaxy. The Valix Empire no longer exists. Every Valix military installation has been destroyed. Every Valix city lies in ruins. Every Valix colony is silent. We estimate that 98% of their species is dead. The alien species watching the broadcast reacted with horror. Some cut the transmission. Others sent desperate pleas for negotiation. Admiral Kang ignored them all. Let this be a lesson to every species in the galaxy. Humanity offered you friendship and cooperation. You responded with murder and humiliation. We will not make that mistake again. The transmission ended, leaving the galaxy in stunned silence. In less than 18 hours, humanity had accomplished what the aliens thought was impossible. They had completely eliminated one of the galaxy's major powers. But Admiral Kang was not finished. The destruction of the Valix Empire was just the beginning. All task forces, prepare for Phase 3, she ordered. Target, the Nethys Collective. Time to elimination, 72 hours. The human war machine had tasted blood, and it was still hungry. The galaxy was about to learn that there was no mercy in humanity's justice. There was only extinction for those who had chosen to be enemies. And there were still 42 alien species left to eliminate. The emergency session of the Galactic Council met in chaos. Representatives from dozens of species argued, pleaded, and shouted across the great chamber where Ambassador Kim Tae-ho had died just 1 year before. His blood had been cleaned from the floor, but the memory of his murder haunted every being present. Crystal Mind Venth of the Nethys Collective spoke first, its crystalline voice ringing with fear. The humans have destroyed an entire civilization in less than 1 day. The Valix Empire, which controlled 100 star systems, simply no longer exists. Prime Essence Korth of the Aurum Federation shifted colors rapidly, displaying its agitation. This is unprecedented. No species has ever achieved such total destruction so quickly. Our estimates suggest the humans killed 40 billion Valix in 18 hours. Around the chamber, smaller species whispered among themselves. The Rilken traders, the Zeph explorers, the Huron miners, all of them had watched the human broadcasts with growing terror. "What are their demands?" asked Ambassador Thys of the Rilken Union. "Surely they want something, territory, resources, technology." "They have made no demands," replied Crystal Mind Venth. "They have sent no messages except to announce their kills. They are not conquering Valix territory. They are sterilizing it. No human colonies are being established on the dead worlds. The implications of this chilled every alien present. Conquest they could understand. Resource gathering made sense. But pure extermination served no logical purpose unless they are hunting us," whispered Prime Essence Korth. "This is not war. This is pest control." At that moment, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Admiral Korth Vol of the Nethys military rushed into the chamber, his crystal structure flashing with urgent colors. "The humans have appeared in our home system," he announced. 300 ships just materialized around Nethys Prime. They are not responding to our communications. Crystal Mind Venth rose from its seat, light refracting through its body in patterns of fear. "Deploy all defensive fleets. Contact the Aurum Federation. We need their support immediately." "The Aurum have already launched their fleet," Admiral Korthval replied. "But, sir, you need to see what the humans are doing to our outer colonies." Fiatch main screen showed real-time footage from Nethys settlement worlds. Human ships moved through space like sharks through water, destroying everything they encountered. But their weapons were different this time. "What are those silver streams?" asked a minor species representative, Dr. Menthkar, the Nethys chief. Scientists analyzed the data flowing across his instruments. "Nanites. Billions of self-replicating machines designed to consume our crystal matrix structures. They are eating our cities." On the screen, magnificent Nethys crystal cities dissolved like ice in acid. The nanites moved through their structures with perfect efficiency, breaking down the molecular bonds that held Nethys civilization together. "How long until they reach the homeworld?" Crystal Mind Venth demanded. "At their current speed, 6 hours," Admiral Korthval replied. "And our defensive capabilities?" The Admiral's crystal structure dimmed with defeat. "Sir, our weapons cannot penetrate their armor. Our shields cannot stop their nanites. We estimate a 0% chance of successful defense." Meanwhile, Fleet Admiral No Hyun Wook commanded the human attack on the Nethys from his flagship Iron Will. Unlike the surprise attack on the Valix, this battle was expected. The aliens had time to prepare defenses. It made no difference. "Enemy fleet approaching," reported Captain Kim Jin-woo. "Aurum Federation vessels are joining the Nethys defenders. Combined force, 800 ships. Our force strength?" Admiral No asked calmly. 300 ships, sir. The aliens outnumber us nearly 3 to 1. Admiral No smiled. Excellent. The Nemesis battle computer has been looking forward to testing human tactics against superior numbers. The artificial intelligence that controlled human fleet movements had spent months analyzing alien military doctrine. What it discovered was that peaceful species fought very differently than predator species. Nemesis recommends the wolf pack formation, reported the ship's AI interface. Divide our fleet into small groups, attack from multiple directions, focus on destroying enemy command ships first. Implement Nemesis recommendations, Admiral No ordered. All ships, execute Pattern 7. The human fleet scattered like seeds in the wind, then reformed into hunting packs of 20 ships each. They moved with coordination that amazed and terrified their alien opponents. Captain Ko Min Seo led one such pack in a direct assault on the Aurum command vessel. Her stealth ships appeared without warning in the middle of the enemy formation. Fire. "Quantum torpedoes!" she ordered. "Target their command structure!" The alien flagship's shields held for exactly 3 seconds before the quantum warheads tore through them. The explosion was visible from the planet's surface. Aurum command ship. "Destroyed," Ko reported. "Enemy fleet coordination is breaking down." Without their command ship, the Aurum vessels began acting independently. This was exactly what Nemesis had predicted. Peaceful species relied on cooperation and communication. When those were disrupted, they became easy targets. Admiral No watched the battle unfold with scientific interest. "Time to enemy fleet destruction." 47 minutes, Nemesis replied. "However, Admiral, I am detecting something interesting in the enemy communications." "What?" "They are surrendering." On the main screen, Admiral No could see Nethys and Aurum ships broadcasting surrender signals. Some were shutting down their weapons. Others were attempting to flee the system. "Shall we accept their surrender?" Captain Kim asked. Admiral No considered this for exactly 3 seconds. "Nemesis, what are the strategic implications of accepting alien surrender?" "Analysis complete," the AI replied. "Allowing survivors increases the probability of future resistance by 37%. Recommended action, continue elimination protocol." "You heard the computer," Admiral No said. "No survivors." The human fleet continued its work with mechanical efficiency. Surrender offered no protection. Fleeing vessels were hunted down and destroyed. Even escape pods were targeted and eliminated. Dr. Park Soo-jin watched the systematic extermination from her laboratory ship. As head of the Human Research Division, her job was to study alien biology and develop more efficient killing methods. "The crystal beings are particularly fragile," she noted in her report. "Their molecular structure can be disrupted with simple sonic weapons. Recommend widespread deployment for future Nethys encounters." But there would be no future Nethys encounters. Within 6 hours, their homeworld was silent. The crystalline cities that had taken millennia to grow lay in glittering ruins. "Nethys Collective eliminated," Admiral No reported to Admiral Kang, "moving to Aurum Federation territory." The Aurum gas beings proved even easier to kill than the crystal entities. Human electromagnetic weapons disrupted their energy patterns, causing them to simply disperse into ordinary gas. Prime Essence Korth's final transmission was broadcast across the galaxy. "We were wrong. The humans are not animals. Animals kill for food or territory. Humans kill for principle. May whatever gods watch over this galaxy have mercy on us all." Then the Aurum homeworld fell silent. Back at the Galactic Council Station, panic had reached hysteria levels. In less than 1 week, humanity had eliminated 3 of the galaxy's major powers. 43 species remained, but their confidence was shattered. "They move too fast," wailed Ambassador Thias. "Our ships cannot catch them. Our weapons cannot hurt them. Our best defenses are useless." "Perhaps we should attempt negotiation," suggested the Huron representative. "Offer them what they want." "What do they want?" Crystal Mind Venth asked desperately. "They take no territory. They steal no resources. They make no demands. They simply kill and move on." The answer came in another human broadcast. Admiral Kang's face appeared on screens throughout the galaxy, her expression carved from ice. "Citizens of the galaxy," she began, "3 of your major powers have been eliminated. You may wonder why we are doing this. The answer is simple. You killed our ambassador while the galaxy watched and cheered." Images of Ambassador Kim Tae-ho's murder played across the screen. "You thought this made you strong. You thought this proved your superiority. You were wrong. What it proved was that the galaxy contains only 2 types of beings, predators and prey." The broadcast switched to footage of burning alien worlds. "We are predators. You are prey. This is the natural order of things. We offered you friendship, and you responded with murder. Now, you will receive justice." The transmission ended, leaving the remaining alien species in terrified silence. They finally understood what they were facing. This was not a war that could be won through superior technology or numbers. This was an extermination carried out by a species that had spent its entire evolutionary history perfecting the art of killing. 40 species remained alive in the galaxy. Humanity had just begun to hunt. 3 weeks after the human war began, General Im Woo-sung stood in the command center of the orbital platform Victory's Edge, watching the final preparations for the largest military operation in galactic history. Below him, Earth's war machine had grown beyond all recognition. "Status report on all task forces," he ordered. Colonel Yang Jae-hyun stepped forward with his tablet. "All 40 human battle groups are in position. We have simultaneous strikes planned on every remaining alien homeworld. Total force deployment: 600 ships, 80,000 soldiers, and enough firepower to sterilize 1,000 planets." "Resistance estimates?" General Im asked. "Minimal," replied Intelligence Director Won Ki-nam. "The alien species are in complete panic. Half of them are trying to flee their homeworlds. The other half are building desperate defenses that our weapons can penetrate in minutes." On the screens around the command center, General Im could see the scope of humanity's reach. Red markers showed human fleets positioned at the edge of every alien star system. In just 6 hours, they would strike everywhere at once. "Sir," Major Lee Hae-won approached with urgent news, "we are receiving surrender offers from 37 different species. They are offering complete submission, tribute payments, and slave labor in exchange for their lives." General Im studied the messages scrolling across his screen. Desperate aliens begging for mercy, offering their technology, their worlds, their children as slaves, if only humanity would spare them. "Response?" Major Lee asked. "Tell them we will consider their offers," General Im replied, "after we finish our current operations." It was a lie, and everyone in the command center knew it. There would be no mercy for any alien species. President Yoon had made that clear from the beginning. Humanity would accept nothing less than complete galactic dominance. "General," Admiral Jong Min-kyung's voice came through the communications system from her flagship Inevitable Dawn, "my atmospheric processing ships are ready for deployment. Once we clear the alien populations, we can begin converting their worlds for human habitation. How many worlds can we process? General Im asked. Conservative estimate, 400 habitable planets within 5 years, Admiral Zhong replied. Aggressive estimate, 800 planets within 3 years. We will have living space for 1 trillion humans. The implications were staggering. In less than a decade, humanity could grow from 10 billion to 1 trillion individuals, spreading across hundreds of worlds. They would be the undisputed masters of the galaxy. Begin the final assault, General Im ordered. Across the galaxy, human fleets emerged from dark space like angels of death. Unlike their previous strikes, this time they did not bother with stealth or surprise. They simply appeared and began killing everything that moved. On the crystalline world of Veshtar Prime, Major Park So-young led the first human ground assault in the war. Her soldiers wore powered armor that made them look like metal demons. Their weapons could punch through alien defenses like paper. Resistance is light, she reported as her troops moved through the crystal cities. The Veshatar civilians are hiding in underground shelters. Military forces have mostly abandoned their positions. Rules of engagement? Asked Sergeant Cho Myung-soo. Kill everything that moves, Major Park replied. Civilians, soldiers, children, they are all potential future enemies. Leave nothing alive. The crystal beings tried to surrender, offering their beautiful cities and ancient knowledge to the human invaders. The humans responded by demolishing every structure they found and executing every alien they encountered. Meanwhile, Captain Song Ji-won's fleet attacked the gaseous homeworld of the Thyler Federation. These aliens existed as living clouds of intelligent gas, floating through their atmosphere in cities made of force fields and energy. Deploy electromagnetic disruption bombs, Song ordered. Target their city clouds and energy infrastructure. The weapons detonated in Thyler's upper atmosphere, sending waves of electromagnetic energy through the gas beings' cities. The aliens simply fell apart, their consciousness scattered like smoke in the wind. Thyler homeworld is clear, Song reported. No survivors detected. Beginning atmospheric conversion for human habitation. But the most brutal assault took place on Korvash, homeworld of the insectoid hive mind species. These aliens had tried to negotiate with humanity, offering to share their advanced biotechnology in exchange for peace. Commander Bei Jun-woo led the attack personally, his dropships carrying specially designed viral weapons. Dr. An Kyung-soo had created biological agents that attacked the hive mind's collective consciousness, turning their greatest strength into their weakness. Virus deployment successful, reported Dr. An from her laboratory ship. The biological agent is spreading through their neural network. They are experiencing complete mental breakdown. On the planet's surface, Bei watched through his helmet cameras as billions of insectoid aliens writhed in agony. Their hive mind was collapsing, leaving individual insects with no ability to think or survive independently. How long until complete elimination? He asked. 6 hours, Dr. An replied. The virus will kill their queen minds first, then spread to every worker and drone on the planet. The entire species will be extinct by sunset. Similar scenes played out on dozens of worlds, simultaneously. Human forces demonstrated a level of coordination and ruthlessness that the galaxy had never seen. They did not just defeat alien armies. They eliminated entire civilizations with scientific precision. Admiral Kang Hye-jin coordinated the entire operation from her command ship, watching as red markers on her galactic map turned black one by one. Each black marker represented a dead world, another species added to humanity's growing list of extinctions. Casualties, she asked her aide. Human casualties, 47 dead, 112 wounded, Lieutenant Colonel Seo Hyun-woo reported. Alien casualties, approximately 200 billion across all target worlds. The numbers were so vast they became meaningless. Humanity had killed more sentient beings in one day than had died in all of galactic history combined. Admiral, Communications Officer Yu Sang-min called out. We are receiving a priority transmission from the last alien defense fleet. They want to negotiate. The transmission showed a collection of ships from the surviving species. What remained of 40 different civilizations gathered in a desperate last stand. Their leader was Admiral Zorth Khan of the Peleran Navy, one of the few alien military commanders who had not fled or surrendered. Human Admiral, Zorth Khan's scaled face appeared on the screen. I speak for the last free beings in the galaxy. We surrender unconditionally. We offer our complete submission to human authority. All we ask is for our civilians to be spared. Admiral Kang studied the alien commander with cold eyes. Zorth Khan was brave, she had to admit. He knew this was hopeless, but he was still trying to save his people. Admiral Zorth Khan, she replied, your courage is noted. However, you seem to misunderstand our intentions. We are not seeking your surrender. We are not seeking your submission. We are seeking your extinction. But why? Zorth Khan asked desperately. We can serve you. We can work for you. Why kill us all? Because, Admiral Kang said simply, you killed our ambassador. You showed the galaxy that humans were acceptable targets for murder. Now we are showing the galaxy what happens to species that make that mistake. Please, Zorth Khan begged, at least spare the children. They had nothing to do with the ambassador's death. Admiral Kang's expression did not change. Children grow up to become adults. Adults seek revenge for their parents' deaths. It is more efficient to eliminate the possibility of future resistance. The transmission ended. Within an hour, the last alien fleet was destroyed. Admiral Zorth Khan's ship was the final vessel to die, its wreckage drifting among the debris of galactic civilization. That night, General Im stood on the observation deck of his command station, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, humanity's war machine continued its work. Atmospheric processors were already beginning to convert dead alien worlds for human habitation. Sir, Colonel Yang approached with the final casualty reports. The operation is complete. All major alien species have been eliminated. A few minor. Populations may survive in remote systems, but they pose no threat to human expansion. Total elimination count? General Im asked. 43 major species, approximately 400 billion individual aliens. The galaxy is now effectively under human control. General Im nodded. In less than 2 months, humanity had accomplished what military theorists had said was impossible. They had conquered an entire galaxy, eliminating every potential threat. To their dominance, prepare the colonization fleets, he ordered. It is time for humanity to claim their inheritance. As the stars turned overhead, General Im thought about Ambassador Kim Tae-ho. The diplomat had come to the galaxy seeking peace and friendship. Instead, his death had triggered the largest act of genocide in galactic history. The ambassador would have been horrified by what his murder had unleashed. But he was dead, and the dead did not get to judge the living. The galaxy belonged to humanity now. All of it. And they would never again have to worry about aliens thinking they were weak. 6 months after the last alien civilization fell, Emperor President Yoon Seok-min stood in the throne room of the conquered Valak's capital world. Where War Prime Sektar had once ruled his reptilian empire, now humanity's leader governed a galaxy, empty of all other intelligent life. The throne room had been rebuilt in human style, but traces of its alien origins remained. Claw marks still scarred the walls where desperate Valaks had tried to escape human soldiers. Burn marks showed where quantum weapons had ended the last resistance. Your Majesty, Director Kwan Hyo-jin approached with her daily colonization report. Another 40 worlds have been successfully converted for human habitation. The atmospheric processors are working faster than expected. Emperor Yoon studied the holographic map that filled the center of the room. Green dots showed worlds already colonized by humans. Blue dots indicated planets currently being terraformed. Red dots marked worlds still being cleared of alien artifacts and remains. Population transfer rates? He asked. 2 million humans are relocating to new worlds every week, Director Kwan replied. At this rate, we will have established settlements on 500 worlds within 2 years. The first generation of galactic-born humans should number in the billions. The numbers were staggering. Humanity was spreading across the galaxy like a flood, claiming worlds that had been inhabited by aliens for millions of years. Ancient civilizations were being erased and replaced with human cities, human culture, human dreams. Any resistance from surviving populations? Emperor Yoon asked. Minor incidents only, reported General Han Dong-woo, who now served as Minister of Galactic Security. Our sensors detect small groups of aliens hiding in asteroid belts and remote moons. They pose no military threat, but we continue hunting them for complete species elimination. The hunt for survivors had become almost a sport among human military units. Small groups of aliens who had escaped the initial extermination lived like animals in the dark spaces between stars, scavenging for food and hiding from human patrols. Sir, Admiral Kang Hee-jin entered the throne room with urgent news. We have discovered something significant in the Nethys home system. Our archaeological teams have found intact data archives. What kind of data? Emperor Yoon asked. Complete records of galactic history going back 50 million years. Technologies we never imagined. Star maps showing the locations of other galaxies with intelligent life. The implications hit everyone in the room immediately. If there were other galaxies with intelligent species, humanity could expand beyond their current conquest. The universe itself could become human territory. How many other galaxies? Emperor Yoon asked. At least a dozen within reasonable travel. Distance, Admiral Kang replied. The alien archives show contact between multiple galactic civilizations. Sir, we may have only conquered one small part of a much larger community of intelligent species. Emperor Yoon walked to the great window that looked out over the alien capital city. Human colonists moved through streets that had once belonged to reptilian beings. Human children played in parks where alien younglings had once learned to hunt. Interesting, he said finally. Prepare deep space exploration fleets. If there are other galaxies with intelligent life, they will learn the same lesson our galaxy learned. Which lesson is that, Your Majesty? Director Kwan asked. That there is only room in the universe for one dominant species, Emperor Yoon replied. And we have already decided which species that will be. In the months that followed, humanity's expansion accelerated beyond all projections. Entire star systems were converted into factory worlds, producing ships and weapons for the next phase of galactic conquest. Human population growth exploded as families spread across hundreds of worlds. Dr. Shin Jae-won, now Minister of Advanced Weapons Development, presented her latest creations to the Emperor. "We have developed faster-than-light weapons that can destroy planets from other star systems. Our new AI battle computers can coordinate military operations across multiple galaxies simultaneously." "Timeline for intergalactic expansion?" Emperor Yoon asked. 5 years to reach the nearest galaxy, 10 years to establish complete dominance there. Within a generation, humanity could control a dozen galactic clusters. The speed of human expansion amazed even their own leaders. Unlike the aliens they had exterminated, humans did not waste time on philosophy or art when there were worlds to conquer. Every human colony became a military base. Every human child was trained for warfare. Captain Lim Sung-ho, now Admiral, of the Intergalactic Fleet, stood on the bridge of humanity's first Universe-class warship. The vessel was the size of a small moon, capable of destroying entire star systems with its quantum cascade weapons. "Sir," his navigation officer reported, "we have reached the edge of our galaxy. Long-range sensors detect artificial structures in the Andromeda Galaxy. Estimated population? 10 trillion intelligent beings across 47 different species." Admiral Lim smiled. "Inform Emperor Yoon that we have found the next target. Begin intelligence-gathering operations. But first, there was a ceremony to attend." On the anniversary of Ambassador Kim Tae-ho's murder, Emperor Yoon dedicated a massive memorial in the ruins of the old Galactic Council chamber. The statue showed the ambassador in his diplomatic robes, but his face was carved with an expression of grim determination rather than the peace he had sought in life. The inscription at the base read, "Ambassador Kim Tae-ho, First Human Galactic, Representative." His murder taught the universe that humanity's true nature is not mercy, but justice. Around the memorial, representatives from the few alien species that had been spared stood in chains. These were not survivors of the extermination. They were specially bred servants, cloned from alien genetic material and programmed for absolute obedience to human masters. "Citizens of the human galactic empire," Emperor Yoon addressed the crowd that had gathered for the ceremony. "1 year ago, our ambassador came to this place seeking friendship and cooperation. The aliens responded by murdering him in cold blood, while the galaxy watched and cheered. The crowd was silent, remembering their rage and grief from that terrible day. Today, every alien species that participated in or approved of that murder is extinct. Their worlds belong to humanity. Their resources serve human needs. Their history has been erased and replaced with human achievement. Cheers erupted from the human colonists. Children who had been born on alien worlds raised their fists in celebration of their parents' conquest. But our work is not finished," Emperor Yoon continued. "Beyond our galaxy, other species live in ignorance of human superiority. They do not yet know that the universe has new masters. It is our duty to teach them." More cheers. The crowd chanted, "Death to aliens! Glory to humanity!" until their voices echoed through the ruins of galactic civilization. That night, Emperor Yoon stood alone in the memorial chamber, studying the statue of Ambassador Kim Tae-ho. The diplomat's stone eyes seemed to judge the world his death had created. "I wonder if you would approve," Emperor Yoon said to the statue. "You sought peace, but peace was never possible. They saw kindness as weakness. They mistook mercy for fear." He touched the inscription at the statue's base. "Your death showed us the universe's true nature, brutal, merciless, and dominated by the strong. We learned that lesson well, perhaps too well. For a moment, doubt flickered across the Emperor's face. In pursuing justice for one man's murder, humanity had committed genocide against an entire galaxy. They had become the very monsters they had once fought against. But the moment passed. The doubt faded. "No," he said firmly. "We did what was necessary. We chose to be predators rather than prey. History will judge us as the species that survived." Outside the memorial, human ships launched toward distant galaxies, carrying death to worlds that had never heard of Earth. The human empire grew larger every day, fed by conquest and sustained by the systematic elimination of any species that might challenge their dominance. Ambassador Kim Tae-ho had died seeking a place for humanity among the stars. Instead, his death had given humanity all the stars. The galaxy was silent now, except for human voices. Human children played in alien ruins. Human cities rose from the bones of extinct civilizations. Human flags flew over worlds that had belonged to other species for millions of years. In the end, the aliens had been right about one thing. Humans were animals. They were just the wrong kind of animals to murder and expect mercy in return. The universe was learning that lesson, one galaxy at a time.